Good afternoon. It's coffee talk, tea talk, Pepsi talk, Coke talk, whatever it is that you drink and you want to come join me. Let me fix this here a little bit. Um, anyway, I wanted to start out with getting myself situated here. With I know right now that there's a lot of people in the country and even across the world that are quite disappointed, and part of me can understand that. I personally, I don't really revel in any of that, those situations or anything like that. I try to live my life based on the Creator, and especially since I realize that that's all we can base our lives on, and who we are and who we've become. But all of those of you that are disappointed and you're raging and you're thinking you want to do wild, crazy things, don't, because it's not going to get you nowhere for your own good. Um, Settle down, stay calm, and realize this one thing, that you're still in charge. It doesn't matter who the world or who the country or your state or whether it's another nation. It doesn't matter who's in charge or who everybody decides to put in charge of your life. You're still in charge of your life, and you still have free will to decide what you want your life to be. Now I know that there's stumbling blocks out there, and we're taught to be a certain way, and we've been programmed to be a certain way, but we have to unprogram ourselves and start over. That's kind of basically what I had to do here this last week. I allowed certain things, certain feelings, certain emotions, and avenues starting to come into my life that I really didn't want. I mean, it's nice to think about that, but somewhere in life we've got to grow up. And we've got to understand the signs that are going on around us and what's good for us and what isn't good for us. So I felt like I was in the twilight zone for a couple days. And now I'm hoping I'm back up on my feet again. But those things will happen. I don't care who you are, where you are, and who's in charge of what country and what nation and stuff. We're still all individuals, and we're still going to have our mountains to climb. We're still going to have our ditches that we got to dig ourselves out of, the pits that we allow ourselves to get into. And it's not hard for me and probably many of you to allow your emotions, because for one thing, we're alone. We don't have no companionship. We don't have other than our Creator. We have our Creator, and we have our ego. Our ego is going to do whatever it can to win what it wants to win, and that's the flesh of this body. That um, whatever it is that it can get our mind to think and believe, it can get us to move in that direction. Other than listening to the the Christ that's in us, the anointing that's in us to direct us in the right step that we should all go. I mean, we've all got a different path. Whether it's already been pre planned or what, it doesn't matter. We still have choices to go along the way that's going to get us to that plan. And we have to recognize that. We have to see the red flags. And if you see that it's going, that your ego is trying to take you into a direction that you've been there once before, you've been there several times before, and you know that you don't want to go there, then you've got to stay focused where it is that you really want to go. So that's just like everything that's going on right now in the world, and who we choose to put in charge of our lives. Um, if we, how do I want to say this? I don't want to get political. If whoever we choose to put in our life, we got to to rule over our life, we got to let them do their job. First of all, we got to understand what is their job. Like with me, with my creator, what is the creator in me's job? And if I decide to put the creator in charge of my life, then I gotta let it happen. I gotta let it happen. I can't come in there and change the rules. And I know the rules ahead of time. That's the whole thing. I've got to be a certain way if I want the creator to direct my life. That's just like all the countries in the world that choose the individuals or the units to what's the word, to guide their country with. They've got to let them do their what they put them there for. And I've noticed since I've been watching different things throughout the years that we as human beings, we choose whatever and whoever to take care of us, but then we go in and try to tell them how to take care of us. Well, first of all, in the big scheme of things, we start from the top up. The creator is to be in charge of everything. But then there's other issues that have to happen. There's other people that have to come in to control. And I don't want to use the word control as in you got to do it this way or you got to do it that way. There's millions and billions of people on this planet that everyone has a different idea about how they want the world to be. So there has to be a certain amount of, and I don't even want to use the word rulers, people that are smart enough and intelligent enough and know enough about nations and other entities that they can control the masses to keep them in a big, so where they don't destroy each other. That country over there needs to do certain things to keep other nations out of their country that would destroy their way of life. Just like here in America, our leaders are there to make sure that our nation is safe from other nations. People that have their own ideas and ways of how they want the world to run. And we got to allow whoever we put in charge of our lives, our individual lives, we've got to allow that who and what we put in charge of our lives, we've got to allow that job to be done instead of interfering. And Americans, and I don't know enough from what I'm looking at, there's a lot of countries that want to interfere with who they put in charge. And that's what ruins our countries. And not only and that along with us not taking care of our own individual lives. So if I put the Creator in charge of my life, and I don't want my ego running it, and then I've got to follow the guidelines that the Creator has placed within me, because it's there. And the ego wants to be in the world. No, of the world. And be able to use all my emotions and my feelings and whatever to go in the direction it wants to go in. So I have to be steadfast. We all have to be steadfast. If we're all running our own lives in a good way, then the humans that we put in charge of each one of our countries, they could do their job a lot better. And but don't be disappointed. Go ahead, go deep back into your own life. See what it is that you want to do with your life, and keep trudging forward. I want to do videos, and I can't let the ego in me want to cause things to happen into my life that's not going to happen anymore. And I want to be a tiny home creator. I want to be a singer. And if there's things that you're allowing into your life that you know is going to stop that, you got to push your ego aside. Don't let it happen. So dig down deep inside your heart and realize that everybody on this earth, everybody's still a human being, and everybody has their own perceptions of what life is supposed to be, and that's for their own life. And I by no means want to project what I think life should be like for me onto other people. So there was one video I did that said, mind your own business. Stick to yourself. Stick to how you want your life to run, and let the Creator run it. And let the authorities that we put in power over our nations do the best that they can to keep our way of life in each one of our countries safe. Safe. That's the bottom line. It's safe. Keep us safe. And as long as the leaders can keep each individual country safe, then we can move forward with each one of our individual lives and guide it in the direction that we want it to go. As long as it's not hurting nobody else or trying to destroy somebody else's life, all things are possible. So, anyway, coffee talk, tea talk. I see a lot of different people on YouTube doing the coffee talk, and then I saw somebody this morning. It was tea talk, and that sounds a little odd, don't it? Tea talk, because it's a little bit like TikTok. But I like tea. I like to sit and drink tea, but um, tea for me, I have to add either sugar or honey to it, and um, I don't know for whatever reason anymore. It just seems to be more work than coffee. I don't know, but I look around my little home here, and I've got my little place set up here in the office slash studio, and how I got it set now, and the way I put my chair here where I can sit and read, and I can do these videos and little corners that a lot of people would say, well, that's not enough room for me. Well, I could stand to have a little bit more room. Yes, I could, but I got to take what I got. If I want to have all the things that I want to have that's going to bring me joy and bring me a little comfort and stuff, then I've got to compromise a little bit on the space. Now, I've got this door right here that opens up wide, but it's got some nice windows there. Now, come wintertime, it's going to be cold coming in through there. But I don't want to, I'm going to have to watch. If I want to put plastic on there, I'm going to have to watch what I want to put on there, because I've got this, my daughter got me for Mother's Day 2 years ago, and it's a plant hanger. Oh, I'm going to sit right outside my door right here where I can see it, and I'm going to hang bird feeders on it. That in the wintertime, I can sit here and I can read a book or whatever, sit here and watch my birds, like Simply Creative Robin does. I just love her home, and she has a balcony. I would love to have a balcony, and she's got birds out on her balcony, and her balcony is for her birds, and she gets such joy and pleasure out of that. And to me, she has a life that is fulfilling to her. Now that might change later on down the road, and she wants something different, and she's got the prerogative to do that. She's got the creator that helps her through life. And like so many of us, we have the creator that's going to help us. Now, there's a lot of talk out there about aliens and who made us and all like that, but all that doesn't matter when it comes to the fact that once we recognize that the creator put within us the ability to sustain our own life, we don't have to eat 14 meals a day. We don't have to stuff our face and our stomach till we can't move. I've been finding that since I've been working on my health and stuff like that, and trying to find what's good for my body to eat, because we're all different. And I don't like to cook anyway, so no, I may like to cook if I had better space, but it's been a long time since I've had better space. So our food budget doesn't need to be that big. We don't need to buy $200 and $300 a week on groceries. I haven't bought any groceries. Well, I bought some coffee the other day, and I bought some French vanilla creamer because no, I usually drink my coffee black, but right now I got French vanilla creamer in it. Give me just that little bit of sweet taste. And now I know a lot of people say, well, that's not good for you, right? It's not good for you, more likely. But if we reduce a lot of the other stuff that's not good for us that we would stuff our face with because we think we're hungry and we're starving when in reality we're not. If we're getting the sunlight we need, if we're letting our brain produce the chemicals and stuff it needs to produce, it'll produce the stuff that our body needs to feed our body. Now, I know that sounds odd, and it sounded odd to me too when I heard it. And I'm not going to go in complete total depth of it, but and we're eating the fruits that we need to eat, then our body is going to get the nutrients that it needs. We're taking care of the stress getting the stress out of our lives, so our stomach will be able to produce the acids and being able to digest our food properly. It's simple little things like that. Simple little things like that we don't have to eat all the stuff that we're led to believe that we have to eat. I think I said this in one of my other videos. Somebody I had mentioned that my legs were getting better. Now, some of that was that the Creator says, call things that be not as though they were. That's part of it. Say to the mountain, be thou removed. I do speak to my body and tell it to heal itself. What can I do? What can I do to help you heal? And sometimes that'll just come automatically. I quit eating eggs. All of a sudden, I just don't have no desire for eggs whatsoever. And all the twitching and that my muscles was doing in my legs and different things. And I know that my legs wasn't getting enough exercise like they need to get. And I'm just not one to get on an exercise machine. So if I'm staying in tune with the Creator and letting my brain produce the chemicals that's needed to take care of this body, my body, your body might be different. Then my body is going to start taking care of itself. Get rid of the stress. Get rid of the emotions that's trying to take you in a direction you don't want to go in. It feels good for a little while, but if you was to get into the situation that your emotions were trying to take you to, you'd be in bad shape. So let your body take care of itself, but you got to get the stress out of yourself. And so all of you people that are emotionally upset right now, I've been watching some videos that people are just individually going crazy over how things turned out. But again, we're the only ones that can change things in our life. Don't let those things bother you to the point where you can't function, you can't focus, you You can still, I don't care, I do not care who you think is in charge of this world. We're in charge of this world our world right here. And whoever you choose to bring into your world. You don't have to bring all that stuff into your world. Just know that. There's been people come and go in my life for a long, long time. Some of them I miss, and they weren't good for me. But that's not to say that they didn't add anything to my life, because they did. And helped me go in the direction where I'm at now, to tell you the truth. I still think about different people throughout my life that's been in my life, and what I learned from them being there. And I respect that. So chin up, everybody. I don't care uh, what, we're not to be of the world, but we do got to recognize that people in the world are there's cruel people out there. There's people that want to be in power and charge, and they want to uh, come and destroy each other's countries and stuff. There's no reason for the wars across this world. People die, and the people over in them other countries are human just like we are. The people that they're letting out on our streets right now, they're human just like we are. And they have feelings too. So all of this crazy energy that's coming off of these feelings, that the fear, the stress, that cause people to do crazy things all across this world. And we got to let our leaders keep us safe, and quit demanding this and quit demanding that. And we won't demand all of that if we're taking care of our own selves. Don't stick our nose into other people's business and call the law and say, well, this, unless of course you're getting beat to death or something like that, then you call that kind of law. But I'm saying you don't call and try to destroy other people's lives because you think it should be this way or that way. Stay in your own little world, and you'll be happier. Take care of your own little world. Design your own little life. If you want to have your own little business, have the faith and the determination and confidence in yourself that you can start your own little business, even if it's just a little crocheting business. You can teach people how to crochet online. You can teach people how to play a keyboard online. You can teach people how to operate their phone and get online with their phone. There's just so many things that you can help other people with and make money on it. So anyway, well, that's coffee talk for today. I just hope all of you can pull yourselves together. And another thing, the other group of people, don't gloat. Don't gloat. There's no room on this earth to gloat. Everybody love one another. That's what our life is supposed to be about. Loving one another. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Don't gloat. All right, we'll talk to y'all later. If you think you can, if you think you can't, you're right.